What's up, everybody? It's Chris Curls. This is the Highest Underground Show. It seems like everything has changed since my last video. It's been a minute since I recorded anything, and right now I'm not even marketing or trying to promote my show right now. I want to get about 10 or 12 episodes under my belt before I do any marketing or anything or start promoting it. So right now it's just friends and family who are listening to these things. And you know, my sister was asking me, when am I going to record another show? So I finally did it. I've just been kind of in shock and trying to prepare something that, I mean, it's crazy. When I woke up and saw, a few weeks ago, when I woke up and saw the looting and rioting in Atlanta, because that was the first time where they started breaking windows in stores and doing all this stuff, and I knew that it was going to spread like wildfire across the whole country, and it did. And it's crazy. It has nothing to do, protesting is one thing, looting and rioting or another thing. Like a lot of these people tell you, it's all about the come up. They're just trying to get some free shit. It's sad. It's one of those things that it goes back, all of these people protesting. Like, what are we protesting? Are we protesting against police brutality? Or are we protesting racism, or both? Because they're two different things. In 2019, some estimates say 9, some say 15, but 9 to 15 unarmed black men were shot by police. About 6,500 black men were shot by other black men. So the numbers are very, very lopsided. If all policemen were to stop shooting black people tomorrow, the percentage of black people being killed would not change at all. Because there's so much more homicide that occurs within the black community at the hands of other black men to other black men. And people act like these statistics are biased and racial, and you know, they get racial profiling, and that's why black people end up in police custody or get arrested at a higher percentage rate than their population. Which the thing is that traffic stops are one thing. When people get pulled over, maybe black people do experience more, let's say, interrogation and search and seizures in a car. And that may be because of the stereotype that has been perpetuated as the gangster criminal behavior, as promoted in all rap music, it seems. And this has a consequence. When you listen to music that talks about selling drugs and being a criminal, being a gangster, and treating women like crap, eventually it's going to rub off. It's going to influence you. You are going to become this person. And when you become a person who is involved in criminal behavior, you are going to have more confrontation and run-ins with the police. Just like I did when I was listening to all that gangster drug dealing music back in the day. I don't even listen to music anymore, hardly. Rarely. And if I do, it has to be something that talks about positive things. I'm not going to listen to anything that is degrading to women or to myself and my intelligence, to be honest with you. So in these protests, I see a lot of people repeating these facts and these statistics that don't make any sense. I mean, what are we really, like, are we trying to help black people? Then let's help with the murder rate to go down. I mean, like, black men between the ages of 18 and 24, I think the third or fourth leading cause of death is homicide. That is effed up. Why is it so high? What's going on? Now, my biggest guess is fathers not being in the home. 70% of black children are raised by a single parent. Now, that's usually a mother. And I would imagine it's going to be a bitter mother in a very highly emotional state, which she's raising a child in that state. And the thing is, we always say that women need to see doctors, women need to see engineers in these high roles. to help them, want to be a doctor and want to be an engineer, and they have to see it so they can be better. Yet when it comes to a boy, he doesn't need to see a father in the home to become a man. He can be all right with just his mom raising him, and that it's not true. The statistics are clear on children who are raised in single parent homes versus with the mother and the father. They're more likely to become a single parent themselves, to drop out of high school, to get arrested, to have drug and alcohol problems, to have psychological issues. It's across the board. It's not even a debate between scientists and psychologists right now with all of the issues that people could have when they are raised in a single parent home, whether it's by the mother or the father. You need both. That is the beauty about a man and a woman and two people coming together to survive, basically. We split up the division of labor. The man does this, the woman does this. Why does that happen like that? You think it was because the man was telling the woman, hey, you need to do this if you want to stick around? No. It's because that's the way it worked the best so that we could survive and be here today, having children. Now, with the invention of the welfare state 50 or 60 years ago, you've taken away the consequences from people making a bad decision and having sex with the wrong person and then getting pregnant and then someone becoming a single parent. Which usually if someone becomes a single parent, that means that you're going to be poor. You're not going to have the quality of life that you could have had you had a partner taking care of this child, raising or children. Now, the welfare state, I'm highly against, because I think the welfare state should exist, but I think it should, it's one of those things. I believe in charity. Usually, if you're a good person, people will know it and they will help you out. It's the government taking your money by force through taxes and then redistributing it to people who are making bad decisions and wrong decisions and stupid decisions is not right. And we've allowed it to happen. And the people who are paying the most in through taxes into the welfare state are people who never take advantage of it. It's like, if you have a job and you work and you're not making that much money, but you make too much money so that you can't go in and get the free benefits for medical care or for any other of the programs that we have, even though you've paid a lot of money in. And then what you have is women coming here from other countries, immigrants, get pregnant. The entire time they're pregnant, they might go to the doctor one time. And they just usually don't go to the doctor. They're pregnant. After 9 months, when they have the baby, they call the ambulance, they get taken in, they deliver the baby, and then they claim indigent, and $10,000 doctor bill gets put on the taxpayers. And these people never pay the bill, but we do. And people are going to start realizing this more and more. The whole education system has indoctrinated generations of American children into believing that they should feel guilty, that they should feel not worthy of the great society that America has created and that everyone wants to come to and that everyone takes advantage of. But it's all built on hardworking people. And those are the things and the qualities that we should look for in a partner. Not someone who's hot, not someone who's popular. We should look at the kind of qualities and ethics and morals that these people have. And we used to do that. And we used to have a lot of pressure from the community because we lived in smaller towns and villages even. And now everybody's moving towards the city. And trust me, the government wants you to move towards the city. You're easier to control when you live in a city. They can squeeze a lot more money out of you when you live in a city. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm bouncing all over the place right now. I did not write any notes down. I just wanted to get something off my chest before I go to the gym, which just opened up here recently, finally. And luckily, we don't have to wear masks. My one friend has a membership to a gym where it was by appointment only. You had to wear a mask the entire time, which is detrimental to your health. And you had to basically wipe down every inch of the machine or area after you finish using it, which is stupid. People, everybody that I see with the mask on, it's hard to say. I don't want to say they're my enemy, but they're definitely the people who are going to be calling the contact tracers or trackers and telling them that, hey, he's not wearing his mask. I saw him and his friends closer than 5 feet, and you need to come and get him. I mean, this is what they're going to turn us into. This whole thing with the vaccine, I will never take a vaccine. And I'm trying to convince my family to never take a vaccine. One of my sisters tested positive for COVID-19. She said she was feeling a little sick from work, went home, went by the place after that to get tested positive. Then her husband and her daughter went in the next day and they tested positive. And it's one of those things, because how do you obviously approach your family in this kind of situation? Because they don't even test for COVID-19. They test for an antibody and certain genetic sequence, an elevated antibody count in a certain genetic sequence. And if you have that, which you might have that for many other sicknesses and flu-like illnesses that you could have. If you've gotten the flu vaccine in the past 5 years, you could have it. If you've had the flu in the past 5 years, you might have it. If you have other sicknesses like sepsis. A friend of mine has someone at the hospital who was septic. That means their body's eating themselves from the inside out. They catch an infection and it just starts. Most people with sepsis, they end up dying or losing fingers, toes. Crazy stuff can happen when someone is septic. And they knew this person was going to die, and they did, and they tested them post-mortem, and what do you know? They had the antibody genetic sequence for coronavirus. And they put down the cause of death was COVID. Now, my friend protested this a little bit. We'll see where it goes, but she was like, this ain't right. What are y'all doing? This is not right. This person was septic. COVID-19 did not kill this person. This person was going to die of sepsis. And we all know that. And we all know that's been going around. Elevated death certificate counts, elevated obituaries, COVID-19 because of the death certificates. That's what they're doing. And Deborah Burke, I think is her name. Deborah Burke has told us that. She's one of the women who's leading the charge against the coronavirus with Fauci, on the coronavirus task force team set by President Trump. And she said that if people die with COVID-19, they're putting on the death certificates that they died from COVID-19. And we all know that's not how medicine works, and that's totally fraudulent. But we don't need to go into that. We all know that. The protest and the looting is what I'm trying to get back to. It's all because of lack of education. We don't realize if you send your children to a public school, you need to stop right now. You need to start homeschooling. I don't know. Figure it out. There's people like me. I want to start a school. I'm not married. I don't have any children. And it is something that I want. But right now, I've thought about that. I've thought about taking some kind of building and letting kids come to school, but it would be a totally different kind of school. Men will be teaching the boys, girls will be teaching the girls, and then 2 to 3 hours a day they will have time where it's co-ed. But mainly the boys will be with boys, the girls will be with the girls. They learn differently, y'all. It's insane to want to put a little boy or a little girl, but especially a little boy, in a desk for 8 hours teaching them things. They don't learn that way. They need hands-on skills. You need to take and recognize the qualities and the talents of these children and push them in the directions where they're going to benefit and uh, and improve the most. Of course, they need to learn a little bit of everything. Who doesn't? But think about everything that you learn in school from age 10 to 18. I bet most of y'all don't really remember hardly anything, especially about history, but we don't need to go into that. But we learn how to read and write, and we learn basic math. And that's basically good enough to usher you into the world and the job market. But our school system, y'all don't realize, was based off a Prussian model. And the Prussian model was created, I think it was created 100 years ago, but it was basically not to teach people how to think critically and how to be leaders and how to bring out the best talents and qualities that they have in them. It was to create workers who were able to sit there doing a mindless task over and over and over again so that they would be more prepared to work in the factories, which was being built throughout the Industrial Revolution at that time. So they didn't want to teach the kids. They wanted to indoctrinate them and have them look at one person, a boss or a teacher, and take authority all day long and basically learn how to do so. Your entire childhood was spent learning how to do something that you didn't really want to do. And now look at you in adulthood, you're probably going to a job that you really don't want to go to. It's not fulfilling you like it needs to be. You feel like something's missing from your life. But you have to do it to pay the bills, because most of us do work that we don't like. I'm blessed that way, but then again, sorry, I've got the two smush-faced dogs under here and snorting, sneezing, sounding like a pig is just something that's going to happen. Penelope, go lay down. So, the school system has basically done its job. No one knows history anymore. They don't know how to put the events together. They don't know that our government was subverted a long time ago after World War II. And we have a socialist government. There's no need to vote Democratic Socialist. Just vote Democrat. It is a socialist. And the Republicans have jumped on board somewhat. The whole creation of the welfare state was socialism, y'all. What do you think that was? You think that was charity? No, that's forcing you through your taxes to help people that don't deserve it. Because let's say you did have welfare, which we do. But you have welfare, but you can only be on it for so long. After that, you have to get off. You can't just stay on welfare and make it a career. Because right now, that's what people are doing. And they've done it for generations. Children have learned it from their parents and then taught it to their kids. That you don't need to work and go out and get a career or get a job or do anything worthwhile with any meaning. You can just sit here and take money from the government, have more kids, get more money. Which I think is the biggest... I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's the dumbest thing you can do. If you have a child and you are on welfare for that limited amount of time, which I would have it based on, and then you have another child, you don't get more money for welfare. In fact, I almost think that the state should come and take the children, since you're not able to take care of them properly, and give them to someone who can't have children, or someone who's looking to adopt. People have children now without even thinking about having the resources and the time to raise those children properly, because they know they can get money from the state, which is something I totally don't agree with. Now, we'll see how everything goes, because I think a lot of people are waking up. We don't realize we pay 25 to 30% of our entire income in taxes, with an income tax that is unconstitutional. It's not. We don't need to pay income tax. That's ridiculous. That was something that we voted in during World War I, and I think back then it was 6%, and then, it fluctuated throughout the wars. But once you give something to the government, you never get it back, like your rights. And it's one of those things where these people, you see all these people protesting about George Floyd, and most of them think that they're doing the right thing. They have heart. Their heart is in the right place, I think. Most of them, not the looters and the rioters, but the people protesting based on the information that they've been told. They are doing what they think is right in their heart. That's why you can't come and attack them. You have to slowly work on them. But sometimes, like Aristotle taught us, it doesn't matter how much facts and arguments you present to someone, you're never going to change their mind. Only wisdom and time will. And you can't force that with your information and facts. It just doesn't happen. So this is going to cause a lot of rift with people, because everyone agrees that this was a messed up situation from George Floyd. And I thought cops had too much power for a long time, so I'm not about dismantling the police. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. But defunding the police, demilitarizing the police is the big thing. And that will defund them. We need to demilitarize our police. It's ever since 1980s and 90s, we've given more and more power to police. I mean, a cop pulls you over, they're expecting you to not know your rights. They usually intimidate you into letting them search the car, into getting you out of the car, into doing this, and you usually get a ticket because of something that you don't know your rights. And you don't realize that a cop is not a king. They work for you. They're a public servant. Most of them, with their 6 months training, don't know the law. They're not lawyers. They've been told, they've seen other people say the same things, spouting out the same lies about how, oh yeah, we can search your car right now. You have to let us search it. No, you don't. So I'm highly in favor of defunding and demilitarizing the police. But dismantling the police? No way. No way. Get real. The majority of the cops, what they do, which I feel bad. I mean, the majority of cops don't shoot their gun ever. They don't get shot ever. And majority of things a cop does is going and breaking up fights and domestic disputes against dumbass people. Usually who are drinking, on drugs, just angry, just stupid people fighting. And the cops have to go deal with that and put themselves in a dangerous situation for two retards. So, I know that their heart is in the right place when they're anti-police. I'm very anti-police. But the way they're going about it is stupid, and I'm anti-stupidity. Just like wearing a mask in public. It does nothing to protect you. It's actually detrimental to your health. We'll go into that in a later video, but y'all stay safe out there. Obviously, I always keep a gun behind me. It's my 20 gauge Browning. My father bought me that when I was 12 years old. I'll keep it for the rest of my life until I pass it down to my son if I have one day. But be safe, keep being healthy, take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your family, be a good friend. Relationships are like plants. They need water and time to grow. You have to water these relationships. Call someone in your family that you haven't talked to in a while. Call that friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Send them a text, just say what's up. Stay in touch. I know it takes time, but we all have these little voices in our head that, I think I need to do this week. I want to do this. That's the universe and God talking to you. So do it. Call them. Let them know that you're thinking about them. Let them know that you love them. Be safe. Y'all. I promise I'll be filming more videos soon. I'm going to try to do it every few days. It's just been a busy time at work and a busy time in life. Keep your heads up. Peace.